'95 in the fall, you did compete on Sunday Night Raws, but you fought Mario Jannetty, who I absolutely adore, Shane Douglas, but some guy, Hunter Hearst
Oh
Helmsley.
gosh,
I think he
I
went on
was
as Triple H,
I was I wasn't even 2 years out of high school. That was literally, I had been wrestling maybe a year or so out in West Canada for a guy named Tony Condello. He started Roddy Piper and a whole host of people,
wow.
and that's where I got the first call from Scott D'Amore. I never met him before, and he saw me on a Winnipeg TV show, and he said, "Man, you look like you could be on TV. Would you be interested?" I'm like, "Sure." Next thing you know, I'm at Monday Night Raw wrestling Marty Jannetty and, like you said, Triple H and them. And then I was in WCW, WCW Saturday Night. This was before Nitro even started.
Right.
And man, that's it. I'm wrestling on TV, not even old enough to buy beer yet.
That's awesome though, because
Yeah,
what an experience. That stuff doesn't happen anymore. These stories
right,
that you're
right.
telling about how getting your foot in an ECW, or before you can even buy a beer on TV, like that's how there was. I don't know, the red tape of the cut corners of the wrestling industry. Now we are corporate. We need to make sure
Right,
we can't bring in little kids to wrestle.
right.
An 18-year-old boy wrestling.
Yeah, I didn't have a performance center or anything like that, man. I was out there working for a little bit of money, you know what I mean? And when I got that first call from Scott D'Amore, I was like, man, when do I start? You know what I mean? You tell me where to be, and I'll be there early. You know what I mean? And walked in the locker room in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's where I met Rhino. I think one of the first times I met
Yeah.
him. And we're both about the same age, so we were both around 20 years old. Man, we walked in that dressing room Monday Night Raw, sat down in a chair, kept our mouth shut, and waited for Mr. Tony Gurria to come up and tell us, what we were going to be doing that night. And man, it was at that point, that was a dream come true. And I remember thinking, man, if I don't do anything else after that,
I
man,
know.
I'm wrestling in the WWF on their main television show. I mean, not everybody can say that. So they're all great experiences.
My God, yeah, it's so funny to think that, because you go back and so you walk in this locker room, and I know there's always etiquette in professional wrestling where you go in, you shake everybody's hand, doesn't matter who they are or how big or small. Is there someone in there that, like, are you shaking hands? Are you doing that? Or you're sitting down like you just said and we're like, I'm not gonna do anything. I don't want to piss anybody off, make somebody happy. I'm just sit here and not move.
Anybody that's within a distance, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't run across the room and interrupt Dick Slater playing cards with Dick Murdoch or something. You pick your spots, you know what I mean, and you just that's the way we were taught, especially when you're first starting out. You really don't know too much. If you're in a big territory like that, you just kind of listen for your name, and see when the board comes out and who you're wrestling. There's always an agent attached to it, and they'll tell you what to do. And man, just be thankful to be there. I'm still that way. I still, even for my character at Impact, I'm not running around the locker room doing promos and all. I mean, I make sure I'm in an area where I can be found,
Mm-hmm.
so that when they need you and they got to go looking for you, that's already a negative right there. Like, okay, where is this guy? You know what I mean? He's got a spot here. He needs to be available. Just make yourself available. Make sure you're in a spot where they can find you. And not just for wrestling, but just at any job, anything you go in life, you walk in the first day, you introduce yourself to everybody and be cordial with. They're all there. They already have a job, and you're trying to get one. So just it's just a polite thing to do. And if you're an accountant, you walk into the office the first day and introduce yourself to everybody. And because if you don't, then you come off as like, oh man, what does this guy think he's going to come in and take over and all that? And some guys don't mean to be that way, but they're a little bit too quiet or shy, and it can be confused with arrogance or something. So I always, to this day, if I come close to a human being, I say hello. Stick your hand out, hey, thanks for putting up the ring if that's what you did, because we
Yeah.
can't have a show without it. You know what I mean?